China and Russia, two of the most formidable powers in the world, share a complicated and often uneasy alliance. Both countries, with vast land masses, immense military capabilities, and substantial economic influence, have a long history of cooperation, conflict, and rivalry. But what would happen if cracks began to form in their partnership? A conflict between China and Russia could not only destabilize their immediate regions, but also send shockwaves across the global stage, impacting everything from military dynamics to the global economy. In this video, we will explore the intricacies of their relationship, examining the historical context, current political climate, and the potential for future conflict or cooperation between these two giants. A history of rivalry and tension. The relationship between Russia and China is far from straightforward. While they are often seen as allies, their history is marked by intense rivalry and power struggles. After World War II, both the Soviet Union and China were communist nations that presented a unified front against capitalist powers, particularly the United States. Despite sharing Marxist-Leninist ideologies, their approaches to governance and international leadership diverged significantly. Following the death of Soviet leader Joseph Stalin in 1953, Chinese leader Mao Zedong began to view the Soviet Union's global influence as diminishing. Mao believed that the Soviet Union's new leadership was not strong enough to lead the communist world. This ideological divergence led to tensions between the two nations. By the 1960s, they were often at odds in global geopolitics, especially in their differing approaches to the Vietnam War and their competition for leadership in the communist world. The relationship between the two powers remained strained throughout the Cold War, with both countries occasionally supporting opposing sides in various global conflicts. However, the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991 marked a turning point in their relationship. With the rise of the Russian Federation, both countries began to reevaluate their position on the world stage. As the US solidified its dominance, Russia and China found common ground in opposing Western influence, and their bilateral ties began to strengthen. The current state of the China-Russia alliance. In the 21st century, the alliance between China and Russia has solidified further. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping have expressed their commitment to an alliance with no limits, underlining their mutual disdain for Western influence, particularly that of the United States. This alliance has been particularly noticeable in their coordinated stance on global issues, such as the 2014 annexation of Crimea and the 2022 invasion of Ukraine, where China chose not to take sides, allowing Russia to maintain its strategic objectives. One key reason for China's favorable stance toward Russia is the access to resources that Russia provides. The Soviet Union had already played a significant role in China's economic development during the 20th century, and that legacy continues. After Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022 and the subsequent Western sanctions, Russia found itself in need of new markets for its energy exports. China, along with India, became a major customer of Russian oil and gas, securing these resources at a discount. For China, securing energy resources from Russia is a critical step in reducing dependence on the United States. Historically, China's oil shipments have passed through the Strait of Malacca, a narrow shipping lane controlled by Singapore, and by extension, the U.S. in a scenario where relations between China and the U.S. soured. This shipping route could be cut off, crippling China's economy. By securing oil and gas from Russia, China mitigates this risk, ensuring the continuation of its industrial growth. The limitations of the alliance. While the Russia-China alliance may seem robust, it is not without its limitations. China, while benefiting from Russian oil and gas, does not have a permanent need for these resources. One of China's key infrastructure projects, the Belt and Road Initiative, is designed to create alternative trade routes for energy supplies. The Belt and Road Initiative seeks to establish a vast network of railways and roads connecting China with the Middle East, bypassing the need for maritime trade routes. If the Belt and Road Initiative project reaches its full potential, China could reduce its reliance on Russia for energy imports, which could shift the power dynamic between the two countries. Moreover, as China's economy continues to grow, it has become increasingly self-reliant in several areas that once required Russian exports. China's weapons industry, for example, has grown significantly, reducing its reliance on Russian arms. In fact, while Russia still plays a role in supplying China with some military technology, China is increasingly able to produce its own sophisticated weapons and systems, making the two countries competitors in this realm as well. The potential for conflict, a fragile peace. Despite the current alliance, there are significant tensions that could lead to conflict between China and Russia. One of the primary sources of conflict lies in their territorial history. In the 18th and 19th centuries, China lost significant territories to imperial powers, including Russia. One such region is Outer Manchuria, which remains part of Russia today. While China does not officially claim the territory, it has issued maps with cities in the region bearing Chinese names, indicating a lingering sentiment that the area should be part of China. This territorial dispute could serve as a flashpoint in a larger conflict. Outer Manchuria is strategically important, providing access to Russia's Far East and Siberia, regions that are rich in resources. If tensions between China and Russia escalated, China could use its claims over this territory as a justification for military action. The larger issue, however, is Russia's vulnerability in these regions. The Russian Far East and Siberia are sparsely populated and have limited infrastructure. If conflict arose, Russia would likely face significant challenges in mobilizing forces to defend these areas. Military capabilities. A comparative analysis. China and Russia are both military giants, but their strengths differ significantly. Russia's military, experienced in recent conflicts like Ukraine, Syria, and Georgia, has real-world combat readiness, but struggles to innovate in modern warfare. Meanwhile, China's military, though less battle-tested, has been rapidly modernizing, investing in advanced technology and training. In terms of manpower, China has a significant advantage with a population of over 1.4 billion, allowing for a larger army than Russia's 140 million. However, Russia excels in artillery, producing some of the most advanced weapons in the world. In air power, China has made strides with advanced fighter jets like the Chengdu J-20, while Russia's older fleet, worn from prolonged conflicts, gives China an edge in air superiority. The role of drones in cyber warfare. Modern warfare is increasingly influenced by technological advancements, and drones are a key factor in this evolution. China has become a leader in drone production, and during a war in Ukraine, it has supplied drones to both sides of the conflict. China's ability to mass-produce drones gives it a significant edge in modern warfare, particularly in terms of intelligence gathering and precision strikes. Russia, while advanced in many aspects of warfare, has not yet fully embraced the potential of drones to the same extent. This technological gap could prove to be decisive in any future conflict between the two countries. Economic and geopolitical considerations. In addition to their military capabilities, China and Russia's economic strengths are key factors in their relationship. China is the world's second-largest economy, and its rapid growth has made it a dominant force in global trade. Russia, on the other hand, has a much smaller economy, but is heavily reliant on oil and gas exports. China's growing economic power gives it the leverage to influence Russia, particularly in trade negotiations. If China continues to invest in projects like the BRI, it could reduce Russia's dependence on energy exports and shift the balance of power in their relationship. Geopolitically, a conflict between China and Russia would have significant implications for the rest of the world. The US and NATO would likely become involved, either directly or indirectly, as they seek to maintain a balance of power. Additionally, countries like India, which have strong ties to both China and Russia, could find themselves caught in the middle of a larger geopolitical struggle. Nuclear weapons, the ultimate deterrent. Both China and Russia possess nuclear weapons, and any conflict between the two powers would likely involve the use of these weapons. Russia has a far larger nuclear arsenal, with around 5,500 warheads, compared to China's estimated 500. While China's nuclear weapons would still pose a significant threat, Russia's overwhelming nuclear superiority gives it a strong deterrent. A nuclear conflict between China and Russia would likely lead to mutually assured destruction, which both countries would likely seek to avoid. Thanks for watching, folks. If you thought this military showdown was intense, just wait until the next one. China versus Russia in a dance-off. Who would have thought? But hey, no matter who wins, we're all just here for the drama. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Before these two start fighting over our views,